Inscribed above the temple of Apollo at Delphi in ancient Greece are two words that have been said throughout history to help us along our path. And those two words are ascribed to be written by Socrates. There's a little bit of question about that, but let's just say it's Socrates for now. But those two words really can guide our life in so many ways, and I believe that these two words are words that if you take them seriously, your life will change. Your life will be more truthful, it will be more authentic, and it will be full of love. And those two words are know thyself. That's right. When we know ourselves, when we take the time for self-inquiry, when we look inside to really say, what is in there? Instead of walking around unconsciously throughout our life, we end up having a life that definitely is more rich, can be more complicated, but it is so much better much better journey. You know, we have a much better journey when we look inside and go, oh, there's my stuff. Let me bring up some of my stuff so I can look at it. Most of the time, we're walking in the world and we're not really knowing ourselves. In the last video, I said to you, you know, it's that 10% of the iceberg, and it's that 90% down here that if we start to look down there, we don't want to. You know, in the Course in Miracles, it would say that the ego doesn't want you to look down there. Don't look down there, because then that'll be stirring up stuff. But if we can look there with a sense of curiosity and inquisitiveness and interest, instead of looking there with a sense of fear and foreboding and craziness, that if I look there then everything will fall apart, if I look there that's going to get worse, if I look down there my life will just not work out the way that I want it to. The complete opposite is true. You know, this is all about healing. It's all about healing. And when we want to heal anything, just take a scab, take a wound, we've got to look and see what's in the wound. We have to, you know, make sure, oh, what's in there? How do we clean it out first? We've got to make sure we know what's in there first so we know the proper way to heal it, right? You wouldn't think about just going, oh, I'm hurt, I'm not going to do anything about it. I mean, you could, but that's not really, it's probably not going to heal the best way possible, even though nature does help us to heal, and we're so divinely ordered in this body that things will heal themselves. But, you know, as we've been talking about the last few videos, is that really the ultimate healer is love. The ultimate healer is the source or divine. You can replace the word love with God, with source, with divine. You know, when we need to heal that relationship that we have with ourselves, with love, with God, with source. Once we heal that relationship and we look inside and say, oh, here is my unloving thoughts, here is my judgment, here is my anger, here is my self-loathing, here is my whatever it is, you know, there are such amazing benefits from healing that relationship with yourself. But you have to take the time and have the courage to say, I'm willing to know myself. You know, there are incredible benefits from knowing yourself. I think that there are 5 that I can think of right now from healing your relationship with yourself. And the first one I would say is you move and you start to look down there and you start to see, you move from a relationship in the world from victim of everything that's happening to kind of like a victor. You don't feel at the effect of anything anymore. You know, when you heal that relationship with yourself, you start to feel like, yeah, I am the captain of my ship. I'm not the victim of anything. I am making the choices. I am moving forward. This is what I'm doing, and I'm taking total responsibility for it. That is one of the benefits from healing your relationship with yourself. Excuse me. And that's huge. That is huge. That alone is an incredible benefit. But there's also other benefits. When we start to heal our relationship with ourselves, guess what? Other relationships in our life start to change. You know, when we have relationships that are full of conflict, full of anger, full of judgment, you know the ones I'm talking about. I don't have those anymore in my life because I have done this work for so long. I don't attract that anymore. Remember, you attract what you are. So, you know, you're only attracting relationships that are reflecting what you're feeling about yourself, your relationship with yourself. You're having abuse with yourself, you are attracting those kinds of relationships. If you're having love for yourself, you attract those kinds of relationships. And you know, when you change, everything changes around you. Remember what I said last time. We are not here to change the world. We're here to change our mind about the world. And we're here to remember who we truly are, which is only love. That's it. That's it. So that's the second benefit from really healing your relationship with yourself, is that all of your relationships start to change. People have to deal with you and have a different energy with you because you're healing yourself. You know, when people feel good about themselves, when they love themselves, boy, they have a completely different relationship to strangers, to their family, to their partner, as compared to people that are feeling bad about themselves, or they doubting themselves, or they judging themselves. Those relationships, they feel tenuous. They feel they're not very secure, because that person is tenuous with themselves. They're insecure with themselves. So those relationships show those same things. So that's number 2 in the 5 benefits of healing your relationship with yourself, is that your relationships change. And the most important relationship is with yourself. And when that changes, it all falls in line. Another one is you start to have this kind of healthy detachment from negative situations and people and experiences in your life. Now, you know, in kind of modern psychology, you know, they don't need to be detached, because then you're cold and you're not connected and you're not feeling. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about denial. We're not denying things. We're seeing things for what they are. Remember the pendulum analogy that I gave you. You know, when you're at the bottom of the pendulum, you don't have any detachment from it. You are in it all the time, and you're going crazy with it. You're happy, you're sad, you're angry, you're fat, you're ugly, you're happy, you're pretty, and it's crazy. You're crazy. But as you heal your relationship with yourself, remember, I don't have it here, but the pendulum, you go up the pendulum. The further you go up the pendulum, the more detached you are from the craziness. It doesn't mean you don't experience it, and it doesn't mean you don't see it. You just don't feel the effect of it anymore. It's very much like the first benefit I was telling you. You don't feel like the victim of that anymore. You can look at it and you feel okay, and you go, wow, there's a negative thing happening, there's this happening, and you feel a healthy detachment because you don't lose yourself. You know who you are. You feel strong. You feel connected. Okay? And another benefit is either the total elimination or the reduction of self-sabotaging thoughts, experiences, or behaviors in your life. When you are healing your relationship with yourself, you start to reduce all these self-sabotaging thoughts. I'm not good enough. Only other people get that. They'll never do this for me. All of those things, and even experiences that are reflecting those things, they start to greatly reduce, or you get rid of them completely. You know, I look back at before I started to do this work, and you know, I started doing this work when I was pretty darn young. But before that, I even said this in a couple of videos, you know, I felt horrible about myself. I was completely, I self-sabotaged myself all the time. I'd be like, oh, they'll never get me, they'll never pick me, I'm this, wah, 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 wah. I was at the effect of everything, and what happened was, I was self-sabotaging myself one side down the other, and the other down the other, because my 90% of the ice cube down here was in that self-loathing place. It wasn't connected with love. It wasn't connected with peace. And so, but as I did this work, and as I moved forward in really using love as a tool, and and reading the incredible works of the philosophers from the beginning of time till now, and applying these tools of A Course in Miracles and Law of Attraction and Buddhism and Zen, and I applied them. I can't even imagine at this point. I mean, of course, I'm a human being. I do have doubts, I have doubts in my head sometimes, but my self-sabotaging part of myself, I mean, we're always growing. I am no saint, I am no enlightened master. I just have been doing the work for a while. And so I see, if things come up, I see it right away. If I have a self-sabotaging thought or an experience that I've created because I've self-sabotaged, I see it. Not always, because I am human. Sometimes I need help, like all of us do. But I will go, whoa, look at me. That is a direct experience that I've created because I don't like myself, because there's something wrong with me, because I think there's something wrong with me. And I forget that only love is real, and I forget too, But as I started to heal myself, so many of those just started falling away, falling away, falling away. And now I have healthy detachment that I can see when it's happening. And that's what I want for you too. Now, of the five benefits of healing your relationship with yourself, the number one benefit of healing that relationship with yourself is inner peace. It's inner peace. Take a deep breath right now. Do you feel that peace? Do you feel that feeling? When you heal the relationship with yourself, you feel like that more and more. And I'm going to come back to what I said in the very first video in this series, is that you will attract what you are. Not always what you want, but you'll always attract what you are. And so when you heal the relationship with yourself, you have an inner peace that goes beyond understanding. It goes beyond the mind. I can't even explain it to you. I know that if you're watching this, you've had glimpses of it. And I know that I've had times where I have glimpses of it. But in general, it's pretty much all the time. It's the underlying vibration has become one of peace, one of joy, one of, kind of a divine anticipation of the good that's going to come. That's what happens. You create this you don't create, but you come back to this, like, everything's possible. Life is good. Life is amazing. Remember I said that in a couple of videos ago? You come back to that place. And it's almost like, it's like Jesus even said, be ye as a little child. Do you remember that quote? And if you don't, he said that. And there are many other great philosophers throughout time that have said this. The kids get it. Children get it. Because, you will have a childish enthusiasm for life when you start to heal that relationship with yourself. You'll start to remember, oh my goodness, when I was a kid, I used to love it. It was great. You can do that right now. You can be that right now, no matter where you are in your life. You can have that childish enthusiasm for life. And that is my main gift. Main prayer for you, is that you have that childish enthusiasm for life. And it's not being like overly crazy. You just get that curiosity. And you get that divine anticipation that, things are good. Life is good. It's all awesome. That doesn't mean that other, negative things aren't happening in the world. You just see it from a different point of view. So those 5 things, those 5 benefits from healing your relationship with yourself are you go from kind of a victim mentality to a victor mentality. Your relationships start to change for the better, or you just start to move those relationships that don't serve you, that don't feel good, that aren't, of love and of support and authenticity, they start to just dwindle away. Doesn't that happen to you in your life? When you start to change, there's relationships that start to go away. Yeah. So number 3 is really having that healthy detachment that makes you feel like I can see my life, but I'm not at the effect of the things that are happening in my life. Okay? And number 4 is then you reduce or you eliminate self-sabotaging thoughts and behaviors. And the number 1 benefit is your inner peace. Your inner peace. Okay? That's why I pray that you will work on that 90% of the iceberg. When you know yourself, when you go in there and you have the courage to go in there, it's not as bad as you think. It's not. You know, what you resist persists. You know, in the Course in Miracles, he'll say, you create what you defend against, or what you resist persists. So if you're like, I'm not going to look at my fear, I'm not going to look at my pain, I'm not going to look at my anger, guess what happens? Your anger keeps coming, your pain keeps coming, your fear keeps coming, because you create what you defend against. And pretty soon, guess what? It's going to explode anyway. All that stuff that's down there, you know, and that's not all bad stuff. There's a lot of good stuff under there, I'm telling you. You've got to deal with it. You got to look at it. So isn't now the time to do that? Isn't now the time? And if you're anything like me, I know that for me, I really firmly believe that every single one of us comes here with some gifts, with some very specific gifts in the world, and we know that on a very guttural level, and that we want to affect the world in a positive, uplifting, wonderful way. That's what I'm all about. You can't, I believe you can't do that unless you look at your stuff and find your gifts and work through that process. You know, a lot of your glitches in there, it's your gold. We don't want to look at it, but it's your gold. You know, that fear and all that stuff that's in there, telling you, you will learn so much from it, and it will make you a bigger, brighter spirit in the world. And people will look at you and go, what's she doing? What's he doing? Wow, that's pretty cool. He's awesome. She's a light in the world. Look at her contributing to the world. Look at her supporting other people. Look at her being a light for others. You know, one of my favorite lessons in A Course in Miracles is you are the light of the world. Now that's not arrogant, and that is not the ego. Because if only love is real and we are created in the image of God or the source, we are the light of the world. Who else would be? And I want you to know that. I want you to get it. I want you to feel that. Life is too short not to feel that you are the light of the world. You are. So know thyself. Have the courage. If not, you know, working with me more, you know, go out and read books and look inside yourself. So you can see and not be fearful and not be scared or fearful or anxious about the stuff. The stuff that's underneath there can be your biggest gift. I'm telling you, it can be your biggest gift. All right? Now, last time I told you that this whole process has fired me up, as you can tell, and it's got me thinking and it got me working, and I've been working on creating a 12-week experience for you. Creating an experience that we can go to that other 90%. We can look at that other 90%, and I can help you to heal that through a series of videos and video lectures like this, and group calls and community building. We will look at so many things. It's called the Love Yourself, Love Your Life 12-week experience, and I've been just going through everything. Like I said before, you know, it brings me so much joy to see people's lives change. And even in just these 4-week challenges that I've been doing, and even my previous clients, I'm taking everything that I've learned from the Course in Miracles, from the Bhagavad Gita, from Buddhist philosophy, from everything, and I'm putting it all together in this 12 weeks. And I am so excited about it. You're going to learn about law of attraction. You're going to learn about meditation. You'll learn about samadhi. You'll learn about ho'oponopono. You'll learn about infinite love and gratitude. Because I believe that not every tool works for every single person. So I'm picking and choosing some amazing tools to help you to really get to that space of healing that relationship with yourself, so that by the time that the new year comes, you will feel authentic, you will feel truthful, and you will feel full of love. Say yes if you like that. Now let me just tell you how it's going to work. It's going to be 12 weeks, and there's going to be 4 modules. Now hold on a second. I have to just pull up my phone to make sure that I'm looking at the right ones. I want to just make sure that I tell you what it is, okay? So there's going to be 4 modules in this 12-week program, okay? The first one is what and where is love, okay? The first module, and each module will be 3 weeks. Get it? 4 modules, 12 weeks? Okay. So the first module is going to be all about the mantra. The mantra that we talked about. We're going to go in depth into that mantra, and we're going to also talk about mindfulness practice. We're going to talk about samadhi. We're going to talk about mindfulness, about being in the present moment, and exactly how to use that mantra. And the second week, we're going to talk about uncovering that love that's in you. You know, underneath all that stuff is only love. So we're going to talk about that. Third week, we're going to talk about understanding what is blocking you from love. You know, I said before, all we have to do is remove the blocks to love's presence. But we have to see, oh, there's a block to love's presence. So we're going to talk in the third week all about those blocks to love's presence. And then on the second module, it's all about the love yourself module. So this week is, the fourth week is, who are you? And loving your physical self. Who are you really? Who are you really? Who are you? And we're going to talk about metaphysically, but we're going to talk about physical too, because I believe that in this world, in this day and age, we got a lot of hang-ups over our physical being. Myself included. I have to heal a lot of my attitudes and judgments on myself. So, and I've gotten through a lot of that stuff. So I'm going to show you what worked for me. And the fifth week is loving your mental self, understanding how your mind is working, understanding how it's either putting you in heaven or it's putting you in hell. It's what it's creating, and that is the fifth week. The sixth week is loving your spiritual self, and that is your connection to the divine, connection to the divine. You know, we're co-creating with the divine itself. We are not the divine. You know, the divine, whatever it is, created us, but it's our connection to that spiritual part of us that is connected to the source. So that's going to be that. In module 3 is love your life. You know, this one's all about what's happening in your day-to-day life, what is happening in your job, with your family, all that stuff. Now, this module can really get to a lot of your stuff, because what's happening in your life is reflecting what's happening inside. Remember? So in this module, we're going to talk about your family. We're going to talk about your friends. We're going to talk about your day-to-day life, what's happening in your day-to-day life, and how to incorporate love into that and heal all of that. That's going to be really good. And we're also going to talk about your calling in your career or your vocation, and what are you doing or not doing to bring your gift to the world, like I said earlier. That's going to be a really good module. And then the last module, I think, it's really important. This is the Love Your World module. We didn't really talk much about this, but I believe in this day and time, right now, the world needs you. The world needs me. The world needs our light. You know, there is an incredible, imbalance of light and dark and light and dark. Right now, you look around, you see the wars, you see the strife, you see all of the stuff that's happening in the world right now. Listen, everything is love or a call for love. What is it? Everything is love or a call for love. Everything that's happening in the world, a lot of spiritual teachers will say, I think true spiritual teachers wouldn't say this, but a lot of spiritual teaching that you'll read say, don't watch the news, don't watch the news, don't watch the news. Well, you know what? If you don't watch the news, you are putting blinders on and you're pretending things aren't happening. That is denial, and denial will always come back to bite you in the you-know-what. So I'm going to have you look at the news. I'm going to have you see the pain so that you can then make a choice. Then you can feel empowered. Then you can move forward to giving your gifts to the world, wherever that happens to be. I don't know where that would be. But this module is going to be all about loving the natural world, loving the peoples of the world, and then changing your mind about what's happening in the world. So you can really be a loving, productive citizen of the world, not just your life. Because you know what? This work that we're doing, it's all internal. But if you cannot place it in the world somewhere by using your power of choice, what's the purpose? It's like, that's why I do what I do. That's why it just thrills me when I see, like I said last time, you know, a few of my clients and people that have gone through this work, how their lives have changed from just the little bit that they have so far. You know, when my private clients are working with me, they have big shifts and big changes because we do a lot of this work. So I invite you, if this work calls to you, if I resonate with you, I invite you to come. We're going to be starting on September 30th for 12 weeks. So it's going to take you right up until the beginning of the year. Well, actually, right before Christmas. So till December 23rd. We're going to meet live calls once a week on Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific USA time. Now, all the calls, everybody is going to be on the calls or invited on the calls, but they'll all be recorded so you can listen if you can't be on the live calls. I strongly recommend it because, you know, when we have that synergy of the group, ooh, you know, you feel the support, you hear from other people's opinions and they help you. You know, one of the biggest things, remember I told you relationships are the temple of God? You know, the community that we will create will be amazing. So you'll get a video every week, and then we will have a follow-up call reviewing what you went through, and I will do a group coaching with you. And then I also am going to send you, it's not every week, but every few weeks, depending on which week, I'm going to be recording some audio meditations for you. You will get those also. What else? I just want to make sure I tell you everything. There's a few other things. Yeah. So there's the audios, there's the videos, and you will be in a coaching portal where every week I will give you exercises, I'll give you worksheets that you're going to be responsible for doing. Because remember I told you it's called the experience. You know, because I believe very strongly is that you don't really learn unless you do. You know, it's great to have intellectual concepts. That is wonderful. It is so good. But an intellectual concept is not going to change your life. It won't. You know, the Course in Miracles is a mystical path, and a mystical path means we walk the walk. What does it mean? We walk the walk. And when we walk the walk, our lives change. We have to do the work to get the results. And, you know, for me, I see people that, myself included, is that the people that do the work, their lives shift, their lives change. They get more joy, they get more love, and they start attracting amazing things into their life. I know you deserve to have those things. So this experience is going to be experiential. You know, I thought about calling the 12-week love immersion, because it's going to be an immersion of love. But more importantly, as a teacher and as your trainer, I want you to do the work. So every week you're going to get on this coaching portal, you'll get a video, and you're going to get questions, and there'll be worksheets, different worksheets that will go along with each week. Okay? So you do those, you come back, you reflect, I coach you, and then we go out into the world and you do the next week, and we do that for 12 weeks. Now, my goal in this 12 weeks is that you start to shift your vibration. And like I said in the last time, you can start with your words and you'll have different results. But really, I want you to walk away with a toolbox full of very, very powerful and specific tools to heal yourself, to connect back with your source, and to really living in the world that only love is real. When you do that, it's all going to just fall into place for you. So I invite you to join us. There's more here on this page, okay? I have to tell you one thing though. Since this is a class experience and we have these group calls, I already have some people that are already on board. They've already paid, they're already in. So, which is great. But I cannot coach more than a certain amount of people. And it's not very much. So there's only a few, there's not only a few, there's quite a few spaces left. So if you are interested in joining me, I would love to have you. I'd love to get to know you better. You'll get to know me better. We will laugh a lot. You know, if anyone here has taken classes with me, we laugh, we have a good time, but we do the work. And when we do the work, we get the results. And one other thing I wanted to tell you is that I have decided that for this only, for this 12-week program, I have 5 slots available for private coaching, which means that for 5 people, you have the option of working with me privately. So you will be going along the program with everyone else, but I can't do it for more than 5 people because I already have my private clients and it's a lot of work. I'm very dedicated to the people that I work with. So for 5 people, you will get a coaching session with me every 2 weeks. And I will personally, this is for people that like one-on-one work, that want my, my expertise one-on-one. It's a little hard in groups to get that. I will get as much as possible in the group, but if you're someone that works better one-on-one, and I know that some of you are, then there's an option on this page for that. Excuse me. So I invite you to that. That would be option 2. All right? So other than that, I invite you, I'm going to send you a few more emails to remind you, and we start on September 30th. So here's the deal. Everyone has to be registered by September 29th so that my assistant and I can get everything together to make sure the class roster is good. You're sent out all of your materials, and we get you into this online portal, all of that. It needs to be done by September 29th. Okay, I will, don't worry, because I will be sending you emails to remind you. And once again, if this speaks to you, if this work speaks to you, if anything that we've talked about over the last few videos resonates with you, that you really want to go into this next year a bigger, better version of you and finally just go, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to live my life. I'm done with the self-loathing. I'm done with the craziness. I want to live a life that's full of love and attract awesome, positive results. If that's you, then please join us for the Love Yourself, Love Your Life 12-week experience. So, as always, I pray that love will guide you. And remember, unthinkably good things can and do happen. I will talk to you later.